The Golden State Warriors season is over, and the burning question remains: was this campaign a failure or a success? On the surface, it's easy to label it a letdown. A team with championship pedigree bounced in the semifinals of the Western Conference, outplayed by a young, hungry Timberwolves squad. But to stop there would be ignoring the wild journey this team went on, the drastic highs and lows, and the mid-season twist that changed everything. This wasn't just another season for the Warriors. It was a roller coaster that defied expectations, rewrote narratives, and reignited belief when all hope seemed lost. Let's rewind the clock to the start. The Warriors exploded out of the gate, winning 12 of their first 15 games. They were sitting at the top of the Western Conference standings, playing crisp basketball, with Steph Curry looking like a man on a mission. The ball was moving. The defense was holding up, and it felt like the Warriors had recaptured some of that old magic. But then came the slide, and it came fast. By mid-December, things had gone from promising to precarious. The losses piled up. Players got hurt. The offense stalled. The rotations looked scrambled, and the same issues that haunted the Warriors last season started to reemerge. It wasn't just bad luck. It was bad basketball. At their lowest point, the Warriors were 25-26, floating around the 10th seed in the West, dangerously close to falling out of playoff contention altogether. The energy was flat. The defense had holes. The offense, once dynamic, became sluggish and predictable. It wasn't just a team playing poorly. It was a team that looked defeated. You could see it in the players' body language, in the postgame interviews, in the vibe around the arena. Fans were calling for changes. Pundits wrote them off. The dynasty, it seemed, had run its course. But then came the move that shifted the entire trajectory of the season. Mike Dunleavy Jr. pulled the trigger on a blockbuster trade that sent shockwaves through the league. Jimmy Butler was coming to Golden State. The reaction? Mixed, to say the least. Butler, known for his volatile exits in Chicago, Minnesota, Philadelphia, and most recently Miami, wasn't exactly the model of stability. Critics pointed to his age, his inconsistent shooting, and his history of clashing with teammates. But what nobody could deny was his toughness, his will to win, and his impact on both ends of the floor. The Warriors needed life. Butler brought it instantly. From the moment he stepped onto the floor in a Warriors jersey, something changed. The team played harder. The ball moved faster. The defense tightened up. Butler wasn't trying to take over. He knew this was still Steph Curry's team, but he brought edge, swagger, and leadership that had been sorely lacking. He held teammates accountable. He set the tone on defense. He attacked the rim with purpose. And most importantly, he made everyone around him better. With Butler in the lineup, the Warriors went on an absolute tear. They won 23 of their final 31 games, skyrocketing from 10th to 7th in the Western Conference. At one point, they looked poised to grab the 6th seed, but a few missed opportunities kept them in the play-in range. Even so, it was a remarkable turnaround. A team that looked dead in the water has suddenly become one of the hottest squads in the NBA. The chemistry clicked. The locker room buzzed with confidence again. And even though the road ahead remained daunting, the Warriors had belief. Their playoff run was far from easy. In the first round, they squared off against the Houston Rockets, a gritty physical team with young legs and something to prove. But the Warriors handled business in 7 hard-fought games, with flashes of vintage Golden State Steph Curry. Pulling up from 30 feet, Draymond Green anchoring the defense, Butler grinding on both ends, and Jonathan Kuminga emerging as a surprising X-factor after being benched early in the series. They survived and advanced, setting up a clash with the Timberwolves, a team that had already proven to be a terrible matchup for them during the regular season. Unfortunately, that mismatch showed again in the semifinals. The Wolves were younger, longer, more athletic. They attacked downhill with relentless energy, while the Warriors, missing their biggest weapon in Steph Curry, sidelined with an injury, just couldn't keep up. Every game followed a similar pattern. Tight early, then a third quarter collapse where the Warriors simply ran out of steam. Without Curry to stretch the floor and create open looks, the offense bogged down. Butler fought, Draymond fought. The young guys gave it their all. But in the end, Minnesota had too much firepower and closed the series in 5 games. Despite the early exit, there's a strong argument to be made that this was a successful season for Golden State. Not in the traditional sense, they didn't. Hoist a trophy, didn't even reach the conference finals. But considering where they were midway through the year, this was nothing short of a resurrection. From a sub-.500 team plagued by injuries and inconsistency to a legitimate playoff threat, the Warriors reinvented themselves in real time. That takes coaching, that takes leadership, that takes guts, and don't overlook the impact of that Jimmy Butler trade. It didn't just change the win column, it changed the culture. Before Butler arrived, the Warriors were shooting a dreadful 72% from the free throw line, dead last in the league. After the trade, that number jumped to 82%, the third best mark in the NBA. That's not just statistical noise, that's mental toughness, focus, and execution in clutch moments. And it translated to real results. Those 4, 5, 6 extra points at the line per game often became the difference between wins and losses. Three-point shooting held steady around 36%, a bit below the Warriors' usual standards, but enough to keep defenses honest. Assists remained high, even with Butler's isolation-heavy style, a testament to how well he integrated into the team's system without disrupting their identity. Turnovers, always a concern with his squad, did tick up slightly with Butler, but not enough to derail their progress. More importantly, the plus-minus flipped in a massive way. Before Butler, they were a -21. After he joined, plus 292. That is a staggering shift and a clear sign of a team playing winning basketball. There were individual stories too. Draymond Green finished third in Defensive Player of the Year, voting, reminding everyone that he's still a force on that end of the floor. Curry, despite the injury, was named Teammate of the Year, a reflection of his leadership and the respect he commands in that locker room. Kuminga went from a DMP to a revelation, proving he has the tools to be a long-term piece, although his upcoming restricted free agency will test the Warriors' finances. Moses Moody had a solid regular season but faded in the playoffs. Quinton Post, the second-round rookie who looked promising in spurts, couldn't hold up under playoff pressure. Kevin Knox and Pat Spencer, 2 G League call-ups, made meaningful contributions when called upon. There were also tough moments. Brandon Podziemski started the year in a slump, battled through a shoulder injury, and finished strong, only to disappear in the Timberwolves series. Trayce Jackson-Davis began the season as a starter, fell out of the rotation, and clawed his way back late. Gary Payton II flashed elite defense when healthy, but struggled with consistency. Kevon Looney, once a rock in the paint, looked like his time in the Bay may be winding down. This roster has questions. The bench was inconsistent. The youth movement showed promise, but also limitations. But amid all that, the core of Butler, Curry, and Green proved they can still win games. And that they're not done just yet. They combined for over $130 million on next year's books, which brings up a massive challenge for the front office. How do you keep this team competitive while managing the cap, re-signing key pieces like Kuminga, and possibly reshaping the bench? There's no easy answer. But if this season showed us anything, it's that this team still has fight. Looking around the league, the Warriors outperformed expectations. The Clippers flamed out. The Cavaliers collapsed. Even Oklahoma City, the West top seed, is on the ropes. Meanwhile, Golden State, written off by many in January, finished with 48 wins and was among the top 4 teams in the NBA down the stretch. That's not an accident. That's the mark of a team that found itself when it mattered most. And sure, it hurts not to be playing deeper into May. But considering where they were, this run was a reminder of who the Warriors are. A team with heart, a team with pride, a team that refuses to die quietly. Whether it's Butler diving for loose balls, Draymond barking on defense, or Steph pulling defenders 30 feet from the hoop, the DNA of a champion is still there. So was this season a failure? Not even close. It was a revival, a statement, a spark that just might ignite one more run from one of the greatest cores in NBA history. Before we continue, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Dubs updates. Let's keep going. Rumors swirled late Wednesday night that Golden State Warriors star point guard Stephen Curry may have suffered an injury during a closed team practice session, igniting a wave of speculation and concern among fans, analysts, and fellow players across the league. While the Warriors organization has yet to release an official statement confirming the report, several sources close to the team hinted that Curry left the session early and was seen receiving medical attention, possibly for a lower body issue. If the rumors prove to be true, this could be a significant blow to Golden State's playoff aspirations. Curry, a two-time MVP and widely regarded as the greatest shooter in NBA history, is the heart and soul of the franchise. His leadership on and off the court, combined with his elite scoring ability, makes him virtually irreplaceable. The Warriors, already battling inconsistency this season, rely heavily on Curry's presence to maintain rhythm and competitiveness, especially in tight Western Conference matchups. Social media erupted in the wake of the news, with fans expressing both disbelief and concern. Former teammates and NBA legends took to Twitter to wish Curry well, emphasizing his importance not only to the Warriors, but to the game of basketball itself. Hope it's nothing serious. The league's just better when Steph is out there. One NBA veteran tweeted, "The Warriors coaching staff and medical team are expected to address the situation within the next 24 hours. Though the silence so far has only fueled speculation. Without official confirmation, it remains unclear whether Curry will miss any upcoming games or if the rumors are being blown out of proportion. Nonetheless, the mere suggestion of an injury to one of the league's most iconic players has cast a shadow over the Warriors' locker room. Fans across the globe are holding their breath, hoping the face of the franchise and arguably the modern NBA will emerge unscathed. Until then, all eyes remain on the Bay Area, awaiting clarity on Curry's condition and the potential impact on the remainder of the season. Stay updated exclusively with the latest Dub Nation news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep getting daily updates on the Warriors. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Your input is essential for the Dubs community. Stay tuned for the next video.